got to me. She said we should hook up the boyfriend and boogie. Don't know me, then look on. I'm being the clouds. Pull full of Henny, I drink and I drown.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sam from Harkey Fishing, and welcome back to the channel for another Table Rock Lake fishing report. Glad you guys could join us. A little bit about the lake. Lake level is still super low. We're sitting down at about 910.3, and so the lake's really about 5 foot low for this time of year. And so, you know, you got to be careful when you're moving around out there. A lot of trees that we never really even think about are sticking out of the water now, so be careful when you're driving out there. On the lake, the water temperature is finally coming down. I saw between 75 and 77 in the Shell Knob area, and so you know it's definitely cooling down, and that definitely has the fish on the move. The problem is, where are they moving to? Man, it has been tough fishing. So you know, I'm always honest with you guys, and I've had to struggle. I fished a couple times in the last week, and catching some fish, but just not a lot of fish, and so. You know, right now, those fish are starting to focus on shad, and there are a lot of shad in our lake, and that's a great thing for the fishing. It's kind of like a buffet table for these bass. They can find these shad out in the middle of the channel over 100 feet. They can find these shad up on the shore, and so it's been kind of challenging to you know, to figure out where those bass are located at. You know, I fish a lot of night tournaments and evening tournaments, and so. You know, what I've kind of noticed is the best bite seems to be right there at dusk, but it's challenging. Really, as far as pattern goes, the best thing I've found, these fish seem to be moving into the trees, be that cedars and hardwoods, a mix of the two. Seems like they're relating, the fish aren't very deep. They're like 12 foot deep, but 12 to 15 foot deep in the tops of these cedars, and a lot of them are even down at the base of the cedars. I found the most fish on LiveScope sitting down in the backs of coves, little pockets, and this was, you know, most of the areas I fished was in around Campbell Point area, and there definitely is some fish in those trees. I threw my little Chompers jig. I threw a 5/8 ounce. Really probably ought to be backing off to a 3/8 ounce this time of year, something a little lighter, or even a finesse jig. They've got some great options on there, and I was throwing green pumpkin purple flake, which, as you guys know, is my color. And you know, had a couple fish on that. Threw the big 10-inch plum worm. I had a couple fish on that. I had a really nice one. The best fish of the day was on a spinnerbait that I had pulled through the top of one of those trees and killed, and then burned it on back to the boat. And that thing almost jumped in the boat trying to get that spinnerbait, but I didn't catch him. He literally missed it. He come out of the water 2 foot from the boat trying to eat it while I was pulling it in to make another cast. So those are those oops moments when you realize that you just blew it on a big fish. So nice fish there. So, you know, you can catch them on spinnerbait, you can catch them on a slow bait. You definitely should be able to catch them on crankbaits, though I don't throw a ton of crankbaits, but that's the kind of stuff that starts working this time of year. So anyhow, I hope you get out and give that a whirl. You know, what I'd say is focus on creeks and focus in the pockets off those creeks and look for timber. If you're finding standing timber, I think you'll have your best bet at catching a few fish in that timber. You know, anyhow, night bite, the spinnerbait, the black spinnerbait bite, it should be good. And I think it's really just kind of a hit or miss game right now, whether you catch them on a night they're biting that or not. Because we threw it for, I bet I threw it for 3 hours the other night, and we did catch one perch. One relatively large perch on that black spinnerbait in 3 hours of throwing it. But I know guys that are going out, and including myself, that have gone out, and that's getting fuzzy. Anyhow, the video quality is terrible. Let's try this again. I'm going to stop and restart. Okay, we're back clear again. That was weird. I'm sitting out here at the campfire, as you can tell the smoke going in the back, so maybe that's distorting this thing a little bit. But yeah, the black spinnerbait bite has been awful for me, and I cannot find any sort of consistency to it. You can catch them one night, you turn around, you don't catch them the next night. So anyhow, you know, you can throw that dang black spinnerbait, you can throw a vibrating jig. I just cannot seem to catch them on it. I've even thrown the black buzzbait a little bit, and yes, you will catch some fish, but it just doesn't seem to be as quick and as normal as it usually is. So definitely something to try. So it's off season. As you can probably tell, I've got my trout tag on. just a little plug right quick. I was number 80,076. That's a lot of fishermen down here at Roaring River State Park. If you're from out of town and you're coming down to Table Rock Lake, you know, I'd encourage you. There are so many beautiful things to see down here in the Ozarks. You know, Roaring River State Park is a trout fishery, and they've got a little hatchery up there, and you can tour the hatchery. You can feed these giant trout in a pond that they got, don't let you fish in. And then there's Roaring River that's got a slew of fish. I went out this morning and had my limit of 4 trout in about, I guess it took me 6 casts. So it wasn't bad. I just kept 3 of them, and that way I could keep fishing for a little while because I didn't want to fish for like 5 minutes and be done. So I just kept 3 of them and fished for another about an hour. And then on about my 11th or 12th fish caught, kept the 4th one. Once you keep that 4th one, you got to stop fishing. So had a blast. You know, I was throwing a little marabou jig, little 1/8 ounce marabou jig, and had a good time. But I don't really say that because that's not really Table Rock Lake Fishing Report. But I just say that to say this part of the country is beautiful. If you're from out of town and you're wanting to visit here, you know, come down and check out all the Ozarks has to offer. It's a beautiful place. Lots of camping. Roaring River State Park here. We're out here. We got the campfire going, the whole 9 yards. It is a lot of fun. So anyhow, hope you guys get out and do a little fishing this fall. The weather is finally perfect. I mean, I've got a hoodie on. Yay, hoodie. Go fall. Anyhow, thank you guys for watching. Make sure and smash that subscribe button and hit like. Appreciate you guys watching, and have a good day.